Welcome to Serpentine Creative. I'm your host, Stella Williams, and you're watching Author Talk. So, today on Author Talk, I was gonna do a writing up vlog update because I am still doing my Serpentine Summer Chat writing challenge as well as Camp NaNoWriMo for the month of July. But there was just something that I wanted to kind of get off my chest a little bit about this misconception that as an author, it's better to keep your political opinions to yourself and to try not to be political. And I can understand if you don't want to. Like, that's totally your personal choice whether or not you decide to, express your politics on your platform as a part of your brand. But for me personally, my brand is promoting diversity in paranormal romance, which is inherently political. So, yes, if you're on my timeline, you're going to see posts about representation, about some current events. I don't get too in detailed about that specifically, but one of the things that has come up on occasion with other authors, I've had people inbox me, etc. I've seen it on Twitter, on book Twitter, and even here on YouTube about people not being comfortable with authors using their platform or within booktube influencers using their platform to bring awareness to certain things that are happening in today's political climate. And that's all fine and dandy. But for aspiring writers and aspiring authors, it is a decision that you need to make. It's, and whatever decision you make, you have to be able to, live with the consequences because no action comes without some sort of reaction. So I know that there's going to be people who aren't even going to click on this video because I'm wearing a Black Lives Matter t-shirt. But they're probably the same people who aren't clicking on my video because I'm a Black person, because I'm a Black female, so, and the same applies for, me separating my politics from my author platform. A lot of people say, oh, I don't talk about politics because I don't want it to affect my sales. But the fact that I write books that feature, characters of color, that I'm vocal about these issues even within my own work, because authors who say that they can separate their politics from their work are completely wrong, because any we can tell you, any person of color can spot, you know someone who is anti-immigrant, anti like in their work, especially like if they're writing like a small town novel or whatever. I'm just like, there's no way around it. Your personal opinions and everything are going to translate into your work regardless. But um with that being said, like like for instance, I'm wearing a Black Lives Matter shirt. My brand is promoting diversity in paranormal romance, and I do skew heavily to promoting Black authors who write Black characters. That's just me. And I'm not going to be apologetic about it, you know? So but at the same time, that's not all of what I'm about. I'm going to voice my opinions on other things, hence, my Mylar ribbon. Um, and if you are friends with me on Facebook, you saw that I did a live where I was at the Lights for Liberty vigil um, in my local area. And if you're not familiar with that, it's a vigil for the people being detained at our borders right now, the refugees that are coming to our country and being separated from their families, and that whole mess with the concentration camps. And if you get mad because I say concentration camps, then that's on you. But anyway, I'm saying all of this to say, if you're an aspiring author, if you're an aspiring writer, and you want to, keep politics out of your platform, that's perfectly fine. But if you do decide that you want to be vocal and use your platform in a way, and you don't even have to have quote unquote liberal leanings, like you could be a diehard Republican, you could, be a Trump supporter if you want to. Um, but just realize that there's going to be consequences to your actions, and it shouldn't, if it's something that you really want to do, it shouldn't stop you from doing it just because you're worried about getting sales. Because to be honest, if you're, like I said, in your writing, it's gonna come out, it's gonna be there in how you write your characters, how you set up your world, and people are going to recognize that, and it's going to it's going to be there in your reviews and in your sales regardless. So just be you, right? Because like I said, there's people who aren't going to click on this video because I'm wearing a Black Lives Matter shirt. There's people who are going to take offense to me calling the camps on the border concentration camps. There's going to be that like political discourse regardless of the situation. And it's all a matter of how you handle it, and being able to admit and recognize if, when, and if you are wrong, um, and handling it like an adult. Because the people that you see who are getting in trouble on Twitter and everything, it's because instead of being like, oh, okay, I messed up, or, this is what I believe, this is what I stand for, and you can take it or leave it. Like, instead of doing that, there's all of this back and forth wishy washiness, and it just leads to more drama and mess. And that's the last thing that you want. Um, but also, like, you have to remember, like, most of the authors that are, classic authors and famous today, they weren't silent about their political climate. A lot of them were writing and making jabs at their politicians through their writing, or the state of the society and things that they saw as ills and wrongs. um, we're, as authors, even if we write fiction, we're still a driving force when it comes to representing society in a way that's palatable for everyone. Like, books change worlds, books change minds, books um, provide an avenue of escape, books help people find different perspectives, um, and it's just a shame that at this point in time, a lot of people are choosing to forget that fact, and not, you know, and trying to whitewash everything and make it all like, oh no, books aren't political. This is just for entertainment and it's just for fun. But I'm just saying it's gonna be in your books regardless. And I'm not saying that you can't have a fun read, that you weren't trying to have any politics or anything in, but the best books have some sort of conflict, and usually that conflict comes from not just the internal struggles of your character, which can be caused by social ills, but the world itself, like some sort of outside stressor or force. So it's neither here nor there. I hope I'm making sense. But anyway, I just had to get that off of my chest because it just really bugged me, like in today's political climate, in everything that's going on, not just in the US, but worldwide, in the book community, in, our everyday lives, that it's not something that you can escape. And I don't believe it's realistic that you think that politics is not involved in your everyday life. And not just like politics, but your ideals of morality, your um, ideals of what justice looks like. Um, that's a given. But anyway, this is kind of a long video for a spiel that I'm not even entirely sure makes sense, but that's what I've got for you this week. Um, yeah, check out Lights for Liberty. Get involved in your community. Use your platform and your voice for good. Staying silent is to be an accomplice. Just saying. All right, that's what I have for you guys today, this week. All the things. Peace, love, happy writing. Let's just all be true to ourselves. Thanks for watching.